So the other day I was going through Bleacher Report looking for an article to read, as I usually do, and I came across this one. Nate Robinson intends to try out for an NFL team. And originally, this fascinated me because we all know Nate Robinson as a 5'8" point guard that won a dunk contest 3 times. So I decided to do a little research. And through my hours and hours of research, I actually found out that Nate Robinson was really good at football. In high school, he was all-state in basketball and football, and then he went on to the University of Washington and played both sports. In his freshman year of football, he totaled 2 interceptions back in 2002. It says he had no tackles, but I find that hard to believe considering he played all the games throughout the season. But I find a couple clips of him in high school, and I thought it was pretty cool. So I decided to make Nate Robinson's dream a reality. So he's going to be going to the Seattle Seahawks. Now, he's from the Washington area. He's said to the public multiple times that he's a big Seattle Seahawks fan. And plus, the Seahawks only really have Richard Sherman at that cornerback position. I think he needs a little help there. So I created Nate Robinson. Cornerback was his position he played in high school and college. I mean, he played a little running back too. But in college, that's what he did. And it's going to be tough, man. I haven't played Madden in such a long time, and I finally get back into it, and this is where I go to, me playing cornerback. I'm going to be on the island with some of the best in the world at 5'8". Like, some of the wide receivers in the league can get as tall as like 6'6", 6'7". So it will definitely be a challenge, but I'm up to it. Like I said, I haven't played Madden for a while. And, you know, usually when you do like a career in Madden or a franchise, they have you start off in the very first game of the regular season, but I changed the settings so I could start off in the preseason just because I'm going to be really, really rusty. If I give up an 80-yard touchdown in the preseason, it's definitely not going to be as bad as me doing it in the regular season. So I feel like that's the perfect place to start. Me creating this guy with his equipment and everything, I based it off this picture I put on the screen of him in college. I tried to get it as close as I could. The guy has some really high shoulder pads, which is really weird in this day and age, but that's what it was. So I tried to get it as close to Nate Robinson as I could. You know, Nate Robinson's always been a guy to style on him, so he's tried to look his best in every possible sport. So you can see me doing that right now, and eventually we're going to take a look at the depth chart. I took off instant starter just because I really think that's really unrealistic. He's going to be 31 years old coming into this team. Most likely, I mean, he's not actually going to make it to the NFL, but if this was real life, he definitely wouldn't be starting over Richard Sherman. He wouldn't be the #1 cornerback on that team. So we take a look at the depth chart. I feel like me playing along with Richard Sherman is going to help me a lot because a lot of times I won't be guarding the best wide receiver on the field. So I'm excited about that. I don't have to worry about getting beat too bad. You see, Richard Sherman's a 94, and we're sitting at a 77 overall, which is pretty solid for an incoming rookie. So here we go. We're going into the very first preseason game against the Denver Broncos. This is actually a roster of yesterday. Like, I know we're like in the middle, smack dab in the middle of free agency in the NFL, but I downloaded a roster that had, you know, the recent changes. So Matt Forte is now on the Jets, just things like that. Some of the major key moves that's happened. Brock Osweiler is no longer here. So their quarterback is the guy that played for Alabama. I don't even remember what his last name is, but he played for the University of Alabama. So our very first play in the NFL, flag was thrown. They get an extra 5 yards on the play. So now it's 2nd and 3. Me in the back, actually playing some really good coverage right here. Quarterback takes off, get the first down. So they got a fresh new set of downs. Preseason, so we're not too worried about, you know, giving up that. So this is the play of the game for me, at least. Nate Robinson lining up with the 6'3" Demaryius Thomas. And look, he beats me off that first step. They're going to throw it up. And it looks like we got Moss. We actually played some really good defense right there. First time he actually the ball being thrown my way, and I played some pretty solid defense. I thought so, at least. You see we got Earl Thomas there kind of backing us up. So the 5'8" ex-point guard played some really good defense on this all-star or Pro Bowl wide receiver right there. And actually, this comes to my surprise. 4th and 7 for them. We're actually on punt return, guys. So we can make some moves. We can actually score a little bit on the offensive side of the ball, too. They punt it within their own 20, and we're trying to get some things going. We get the spin move off, but no, we get it down to the 18-yard line. And since we are on the first team, and it is the preseason, we basically just got one drive out of them. And, of course, we get pulled because that's what happens in the preseason. This is the time where the guys that are trying to make the roster do their best. And that's pretty much it. We actually did get the victory. You can watch this simulation go on. I was expecting to play a little bit more. I usually see that the starters play the entire first quarter, but that didn't really happen in here. But it is what it is, man. We still got a couple more preseason games. I don't think I'll bring you guys another preseason game just because it's the preseason, but I'm going to play them all just to make sure I'm actually on top of me playing this cornerback position. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to drop it a like. It's King of the 4th quarter. Thanks so much for watching.